Good evening and welcome to our literary talk show, featuring two of the leading candidates in the upcoming presidential election. Our first question tonight is, how has literature influenced your life and political career? We'll start with Philippe Dupont.
Thank you for having me. I must say that I'm not a big reader, but I have always been inspired by the great French classics like Les Miserables. I believe that literature has the power to move people and shape their thinking, which is why I am so committed to promoting the values of our great nation.
That's a shame, Philippe. I've always believed that reading is essential to expanding one's perspective and developing empathy for others. For me, literature has been a constant source of inspiration, especially in my work as an environmental activist.
And yet, Emily, your party is known for its softness on immigration and lack of commitment to our national identity.
That's a cheap shot, Philippe. I believe in a more inclusive and diverse France where everyone can contribute to our society regardless of their background. Unlike you, I don't see immigrants as a threat to our national identity, but rather as an opportunity to enrich it.
Moving on to our second question, can literature play a role in building a fairer and more equitable society? Philippe, what's your take on this?
I think literature can certainly inspire people to do good. But let's not forget that we need action, not just words, to make a real difference. And to achieve social justice, we must first ensure the safety and security of our citizens, which is why I'm committed to strengthening our borders and cracking down on crime and terrorism.
I couldn't disagree more, Philippe. Literature has the power to challenge our assumptions and inspire us to imagine a better world. And to achieve social justice, we need to address the root causes of inequality, like poverty and lack of access to education and healthcare. Instead of building walls and demonizing immigrants, we should be working to build bridges and create opportunities for all.
And yet, Emily, your vision of a utopian society is nothing but a fantasy. We need to deal with the real world, where there are winners and losers and where the strong must protect the weak.
I'm not talking about a utopia. Philippe, I'm talking about a better world that we can build together. And it starts with respecting the dignity and rights of all human beings, not just those who are lucky enough to be born in France.
This gets exciting. Our final question tonight is, how will you promote education and culture in France? Emily, let's start with you.
I believe that education and culture are the keys to unlocking human potential and creating a thriving society. That's why I'm committed to investing in our schools and universities and to promoting the arts and sciences. We need to empower our young people with the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in the 21st century.
And yet, Emily, your party has always been more concerned with abstract ideas than concrete solutions. Instead of throwing money at education and culture, we need to focus on what really matters, like national security and economic growth.
That's a false dichotomy, Philippe. We can and must do both. In fact, investing in education and culture is one of the best ways to ensure our long-term security and prosperity.
Spare me the platitudes, Emily. The reality is that your party has no real plan for dealing with the challenges facing our country. You're just offering empty promises and unrealistic visions of the future.
That's simply not true, Philippe. We have a comprehensive plan for promoting education and culture, as well as addressing issues like climate change and social inequality. And unlike your party, we're not afraid to take bold action and make the tough decisions necessary to create a better future for all.
Thank you both for a lively and engaging debate. Before we wrap up tonight, I'd like to ask each of you to share an inspirational quote that reflects your political ideology. Philippe, we'll start with you.
Thank you, host. One of my favorite quotes is from Charles de Gaulle, who said, "Patriotism is when love of your own people comes first. Nationalism, when hate for people other than your own comes first." I believe that as French citizens, we must prioritize our national identity and values, while also respecting the sovereignty and dignity of other nations.
Thank you, Philippe. Emily, how about you?
There are so many great quotes to choose from, but one that resonates with me is from Martin Luther King Jr. who said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." I believe that we must work together to create a more just and equitable society, not just in France, but around the world.
Thank you both for your thoughtful answers and for joining us tonight. And to our viewers, remember that literature and culture have the power to inspire us to imagine a better future and to work towards creating a more just and equitable society. As the great writer Toni Morrison once said, this is precisely the time when artists go to work. There is no time for despair, no place for self-pity, no need for silence, no room for fear. We speak, we write, we do language. That is how civilizations heal. Good night, and thank you for watching.